Hey everybody, Quinn here from Tactical and Practical. Just wanted to illustrate for you why you'll want to consider a cantilever mount. Okay, this is the Viper PST Gen 2 on a tread M400 AR. I tried to use some 30mm rings that I had lying around, but as you can see, even with the rings all the way forward and the scope controls as forward as they will go, my ocular lens is still overhanging my charging handle. Now they do make aftermarket charging handles that will give you some extension, but unless you really need that for eye relief purposes, I would just get the cantilever mount, which is what we're going to install here. It should be pretty quick, not a super complicated thing to do. You're going to want your torque wrench, you're going to want a level, and you're going to want, I think that's probably it. So we'll just take off these old ones. That one is loose anyway, I think. I forgot to tighten that thing. And you also want to know the torque specs for your new mount. So there's a variety of cantilever mounts you can buy. I went with the Vortex. They're not cheap either. That was part of the reason I was hopeful that I could use the old one. Okay, so what you want to do is set it up there. Get your optic. Set it in. And then take a peek at your eye relief. Maybe go all the way forward slot or close to it. And I think this is a pick rail on this tread. And you want to remember, if you get a Weaver style, that looks like it's going to work just fine, just like that. If you get a Weaver style, if you have a Weaver style base or rail, it will only accept Weaver clamps. It's all a function of the distance between these little ridges. If you have a 1913 pick rail, it can accept either Weaver or, let's check this again, Weaver or pick bases, because the distance in the pick between those ridges is greater. So a Weaver will slide in between, but a pick will not fit inside a Weaver. So it's a one-way street. You can use the Weaver in the pick, but not the pick in the Weaver. I think that's going to do nicely, just like that. Maybe even a skosh more forward, like that. And that gives me plenty of room to grab that without bothering my scope. And then I can simply adjust the shoulder, the stock position to, now I could probably go forward one. I can just adjust my stock position, help me get the eye relief I want. I'm going to get this thing to pretty close where I want it, and then I can adjust the scope. I'm going to go all the way forward, it looks like. There's that. Get it off there. There we go. And let's go to the full forward position. There you go. You want to hold this thing all the way forward when you tighten it. That's the trick on putting these. I think these base nuts call for 25 pounds, 20 to 25 pounds. I don't have a ratchet on that that has the, for my fat wrench only has the Torx adjustments and a couple of screws. It does not have, okay, so here's kind of what I'm looking for. something like that. Now see, I can get to that charging handle no problem. I won't be banging into the scope, I won't be interfering with it. The trick will be just as long as my eye relief still works, and I think it should be able to, given the, okay, that thing's on there pretty good. I'm going to have to tighten those nuts down more than finger tight. I just don't have a ratchet in the house. Alright, next thing you want to do is take your new rings, set it on there. Comes with a little Allen wrench that'll get you started for the installation. There we go. Now when you tighten these down, you want to do it, think about like a tire. If you're changing a spare tire, you don't tighten the lugs down in a circle, right? You do one and then go opposite. That's kind of how I do these two. You want to make sure you're not cross-threaded starting these things off. You might need a little resistance though, because I think this vortex setup came with Loctite blue installed. So I had to break them free a little bit when I was pulling them out. Now you don't want to tighten this so much, and I think I did already. You want to be able to move the scope still, so you just want to get them in there so that everything's kind of in place. I think I tightened this one a little bit. But you do that back and forth tightening so that if there's a gap, there you go, that one's on but loose. You do the back and forth so that that there's an even gap on both sides of the scope, and the torque is applied evenly across the scope tube. So you just get all these started. That's all you got to do. Again, you might find a little let's see that, I don't like that. If it doesn't feel right, back it out. And just start over. So you don't want to get this thing cross-threaded in there. There it goes. Now you got all four of these babies on there. Typically what I do, I've got a fish tank that I know is level with the ground. And from across the room, if you look through your reticle, and the gun is level, and then the reticle is level with the top of that fish tank, which I know is square, then you should be square. It's easier to, I do that more often with scopes that don't have like this foreguard, because then it's hard to put a level on here. So now all you need to do, that thing is on, we have 2 steps left, one of which I lost, here it is. So you just take your level, put it on your foreguard, get your gun so it's level, bubble in the middle, a little more. Okay, that's right on the bubble. So now what you do is put it up here, and I can see that I'm off. Rotate it appropriately. Stone cold middle. Make sure I didn't move the gun. I did move the gun a little bit. Now it's off so little, I just apply a little pressure to my hand and make sure it's straight. Adjust this one to make it right now. Pretty touchy. Okay. Dead center. Dead center. Really touching the side when I release. That's perfect. Okay, so once you have it, you want to be real careful and not bonk it, right? Don't bonk it. Get the appropriate torques. The torque specifications on this, I pulled it up. I think these are generally like 20 pounds. 15 to 18 inch pounds. Bases are 25 to 35 pounds. So I'm just going to do the 25 to 35 with the regular ratchet. And this Wheeler fat wrench, I didn't buy the digital one because I didn't think I'd use it that much, but I actually use this thing a whole lot. They're handy for bicycles, firearms. So 15 to 18 inch pounds. I got this thing set right about 20. You just pull and turn until that gets to where you want it. There's a little white bar that you'll be able to see. So now I just get them until I feel the tightness kick in. That side, that side. This side. Shoot. There. Let's go and do the back one. Why don't we double check with our level real quick? I didn't block it. That looks right on. Now, this rifle hasn't been zeroed, so I can always, once I get this look through the reticle at this thing, I'm just not in the right place to do it. I can always loosen these and retighten them. Okay, so once again, alternating sides, kind of do a diagonal pattern. Now they're all just finger tight. Now what you want to do is you want to turn them until they click 3 times. That's it. Do the back. And that's it, you're good to go. So that's really the reason why you want to use the cantilever mount. Now we got it all mounted up and it's ready to go. All you have to do is put it on there, make sure everything's pushed forward, tighten those bottom bolts, put the top on, make sure it's level, and then tighten it all down and then go have fun. You can see now the charging handle is exposed and easily accessible. I could have moved this up a little more, but remember that case is on there, so I don't think I'm going to have any trouble with that. Hope this helped you guys out a little bit. The reason why you want to have a cantilever mount, even though they're kind of expensive. If this was a little bit informative or educational, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep these coming. Have a great day. Bye-bye.